Hey there, fellow alumni of Athens High School and Facebook friends, other interested parties. My name is Matt. I graduated Athens High School in 1984, and I'm sure you've all heard about the tornado that went through the plains last night. A lot of areas of Athens are still out of power, so I'm not at work today. I thought I would come up here and give you some shots of exactly what happened to the high school. I know some of you may have seen it on the news, but a lot of the shots were random and didn't really give you a good perspective on what happened. I was actually here last night because my daughter, unfortunately, was taking a driver's ed class within the high school when the tornado hit. So when I heard of the news, I just ran up here immediately. Right now, I'm in a little bit of a traffic jam. Anyway, as soon as I get up here, I'll try and find a place to park. I'll head up to the high school, and we'll see what we can find. These are probably some of the images that you saw on the news. This is located pretty much right directly in front of the high school, in front of McDonald Street. The overturned trailers, and there's a lot more than you can actually see here, especially on some of the adjoining streets. Okay, this might give you a little more of an idea of the path that it actually took. If you look out there far in the distance, you can see that blue house, and right in front of it is where it looks like it really started to do some damage here. And as I pan around, you can see how it moved. And just kind of came down McDonald Street and destroyed everything. And right at this point, it appears as if it sort of took a turn upward towards the high school. Not exactly, but in an upward motion. And you can see all of the debris against the fence lines of the football field, and we're going to get to the football field in a second. We're coming up on the football stadium. As you can see, the fencing has been tore off, but that's not the only thing that was torn apart. And right as we round this corner up here, you'll see what's happened to the football field. Well, here would be the back of the track. And as I pan the camera, you're going to see the damage that it did to the football field. Goal post, soccer goal. And if you look right back there, there's the good old scoreboard. It has been tossed around. And as you can see, that's another path that the tornado seemed to take. You can see the damaged homes over there. And there are the bleachers on the other side of the stadium. Completely flipped over and completely destroyed. Some miscellaneous debris in the middle of the field. One of the light poles is laying flat underneath the bleachers, so the order in that happened, I have no idea. But there again, I'm going to pan around here, as you can just kind of see how it made its way through. And what I'm about to show you is even a little bit more disturbing. Okay, we're now obviously looking towards the water towers, standing just behind the main bleachers of the home side of the football field. And this will hit home with some of you, probably especially the athletes who haven't been here or haven't, seen the place for a while. But as I pan over, you can see the damaged trees. But what you're about to see is a little bit worse. As you can see, there's no press box. It's completely gone. And while this set of bleachers seems to be still intact, I talked to somebody last night who said that they physically saw the press box being lifted completely off, and you can kind of see that it was, because the bleachers aren't really damaged. It just looks like it picked up the structure based on the pressure and picked it up and laid it down right next to the concessions building, which basically only has half of a roof, and left piles of it over there in the field. It's a bit difficult to take it all in, and you know, seeing the stadium like this, just it's not something that really very pleasant to look at. I think this kind of says it all about the field. There's half the sign. Who knows where the other half is? Here's the back of the concession area. Completely torn apart. And this is one of the only areas that I did notice that the cinder blocks were damaged. So most of the concrete structures did okay. But I think most likely because of the intense amount of pressure that was pulling on the roof, it looks like it took some of the cinder blocks with it. There's some people doing some of the cleaning up. One of the things that I found interesting also is that, you know how there are banners hung throughout the field. And as I was driving in today, I noticed one of the banners from the actual football field was tangled around a sign all the way over on the 4-lane as I was driving into the plane. I'm going to try to make my way up the hill to the high school. I might be turned around by some of the law enforcement officials. Again, like I said, they're not real thrilled about people being up here. But I'm hoping if I stay far away enough that maybe they'll let me alone. You can see now the side of the school. And those large units sitting right there are the air conditioning units. And they didn't just blow off the building. They were basically sucked up into the air and dropped back down. Thank God they weren't dropped back down in an area of the building where you know, students were hiding. I understand a lot of them hid in the locker rooms and things like that, a lot of reinforced areas. But yeah, I walked out of this door over here right in the middle last night and saw those two sitting there just after I'd found my daughter. And kind of unbelievable that just pulling right off the building like that. And it did some substantial damage to the roof, I know, because the hallway when we walked through there last night was completely flooded and there was ceiling tiles all over the floors. So I'm sure when those babies ripped off the top, it took a lot of the roof with it. I'm not currently working on it right now, but well, there's something interesting if I can get a good shot of it. You're going to take a look at that flag. That pretty much says everything. Tore the flag completely to pieces. Here again is the south end of the building where the air conditioning units came down. As you can see, they were just basically ripped off the top of the building and slammed to the ground. From the looks of them, they probably needed replaced anyway. Not a nice thing to say, but who knows? I'm not a television reporter, nor do I pretend to be one. See what I can get of the front of the school, but like I said, a lot of law enforcement officials up there. Well, this is about as far as I can get, and as you can see, the front of the school didn't sustain really much damage at all. I do believe on the front of the gymnasium I showed you earlier a little piece of the roof, kind of like that right there, got torn off, but other than that everything looks okay. See what I can find around the back of the building. What's really amazing is we're not very far from, you know, where the air conditioning units, and we're just completely thrown off the building. Yet this small portable structure here seems to be free of damage, and the greenhouse is sitting there like nothing ever happened. But I know when we walk around the corner of the building towards the tennis courts, you're going to see some damage. And I can't exactly tell if this is damaged or not, but we'll see when we get around it. No, it appears that it hasn't been. Well, here's where the tennis bleachers used to be located. Here they are now. As you can see, the fencing didn't fare well either. And like I said, I did see some footage of them working on the inside of the gymnasium. Some of the roof must have been damaged, but there's nobody up there working now, so maybe they got some of that fixed. Well, this is about as close as they're going to let me get to the school. What I thought I would do is just give you a general view. As you can see, there's the north entrance. There's some damage done to an air conditioning unit up there. Other than that, the front of the school looks good. And as you can see, there's a barrage of law enforcement officials and people just trying to get things done. And they seem to be doing a really good job. But I just wanted to give you all a perspective. If you went to Athens High School, if you know anybody who went to Athens High School, if you go to Athens High School and you haven't been up here yet, I just wanted to kind of show you exactly what it looked like. Actually, to me, it looks better than I thought it would. When I was here last night, things were very chaotic. Forgot to say one thing. Go Bulldogs.